In a time of magic and sorcerers, in a remote village, there lived a young boy named Thomas. Thomas was always eager to explore enchanting and thrilling tales and was in search of great adventures. One day, Thomas discovered an old book in the village library. The book contained ancient secrets and mysterious genies. As he delved into the book, Thomas unraveled magical secrets and hidden powers that were long forgotten. With newfound knowledge, Thomas embarked on a journey to uncover the mysteries of the enchanted forest. Legend spoke of a hidden portal deep within the woods, said to grant unimaginable wishes to those who could find it. Equipped with a map from the book, Thomas ventured through dense foliage, overcoming treacherous obstacles and encountering mystical creatures along the way. As he delved deeper into the forest, the air grew thick with anticipation. After days of tireless exploration, Thomas stumbled upon a hidden clearing. In the center stood an ancient, ornate door, adorned with intricate symbols. This was the portal he had been seeking. With a trembling hand, Thomas traced the symbols, activating the portal's magic. The door creaked open, revealing a dazzling realm of wonder and enchantment. Stepping through the threshold, Thomas found himself in a breathtaking land filled with floating islands, magical creatures, and vibrant colors beyond imagination. As he traversed this mystical realm, Thomas encountered wise wizards, mischievous fairies, and noble warriors who shared their ancient wisdom and taught him the true meaning of courage and self-discovery. He learned spells and mastered the art of wielding magic, becoming a formidable sorcerer in his own right. But the journey wasn't without its perils. Thomas faced daunting challenges and battled nefarious sorcerers who sought to exploit the portal's powers for their own dark desires. With each trial, his determination grew, and he discovered the strength within himself to overcome any obstacle. Finally, after countless adventures and tests of character, Thomas reached the heart of the enchanted realm. There, he discovered the true purpose of the portal. It was not just a source of magic, but a gateway to fulfill the deepest desires of the pure-hearted. With a selfless wish in his heart, Thomas made his request to the portal. In a brilliant display of light and energy, his wish was granted, and the enchanted realm pulsed with joy and gratitude. Having fulfilled his quest, Thomas returned to his village, forever changed by his extraordinary journey. He shared tales of magic and wonder, inspiring others to seek their own adventures and embrace the mysteries of the world. And so, the story of Thomas, the young sorcerer who unlocked the secrets of the enchanted forest, became a legend passed down through generations, reminding all who heard it that magic exists for those who dare to believe in the extraordinary. In the small town of Ravenbrook, nestled amidst the mist-shrouded mountains, there was a long-abandoned mansion known as Blackthorn Manor. Locals whispered tales of dark secrets and unspeakable horrors that plagued the mansion's history. One stormy night, a group of friends decided to test their courage and unravel the mysteries of Blackthorn Manor. Adam, Sarah, Mark, and Emily gathered outside the imposing gates, their hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As they stepped inside, the air grew heavy, and a bone-chilling coldness enveloped them. The interior was adorned with decaying furniture and cobwebs, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The friends cautiously explored each room, their footsteps echoing through the empty halls. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence, causing their hearts to race. They followed the sound to a hidden basement door, its rusty hinges groaning in protest. With trembling hands, they descended into the darkness below. In the dim light of their flashlights, they discovered a macabre sight. The basement walls were adorned with disturbing paintings, depicting scenes of torture and suffering. The air reeked of decay and desperation, causing their stomachs to churn. As they moved deeper into the basement, they stumbled upon a hidden chamber. Inside, they found an ancient book, bound in human skin, with ominous symbols etched across its cover. Ignoring the warning signs, Adam opened the book, unleashing an ancient curse that had been dormant for centuries. In an instant, the atmosphere changed. Malevolent spirits materialized, their eyes glowing with a sinister light. The friends screamed in terror as they were confronted by the vengeful entities that haunted Blackthorn Manor. Desperate to survive, they raced through the mansion, pursued by the relentless spirits. Doors slammed shut behind them, trapping them in nightmarish rooms filled with apparitions and torment. Each friend faced their deepest fears, battling their way through the horrors that lurked within the manor. But as the night wore on, their numbers dwindled. Sarah mysteriously vanished, leaving only Adam, Mark, and Emily to unravel the dark magic that held them captive. Determined to break the curse, they consulted the book, searching for a way to banish the malevolent spirits once and for all. Their search led them to a secret chamber hidden beneath the mansion's grounds. Inside, they discovered an ancient ritual that promised to free the souls trapped within the manor. With trembling hands, they performed the ritual, their voices trembling as they chanted the incantation. As the last word left their lips, a blinding light engulfed the chamber. The spirits shrieked in agony, their forms dissipating into nothingness. The curse had been broken, and Blackthorn Manor was finally cleansed of its dark past. Adam, Mark, and Emily emerged from the manor, their bodies battered but their spirits triumphant. The town of Ravenbrook breathed a collective sigh of relief as the mansion crumbled into ruins, no longer harboring the terrors that once plagued it. The friends vowed never to speak of their harrowing ordeal, but the memory of Blackthorn Manor would forever linger, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lie in the shadows. And as for the spirits, they would forever remain trapped within the pages of the cursed book, their malevolence contained but never forgotten. In the remote village of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the dense, foreboding forest, there stood an ancient, dilapidated mansion known as Grimhurst Manor. Its ominous presence cast a shadow over the surrounding landscape, and the villagers whispered of the unspeakable horrors that had unfolded within its walls. Legend had it that the manor was cursed by the vengeful spirit of Lady Genevieve, a tormented soul who met a tragic demise centuries ago. It was said that she had made a pact with dark forces in her pursuit of eternal youth and beauty, but her desires twisted her soul, transforming her into a monstrous creature that haunted the manor. Curiosity and an insatiable thirst for adventure compelled a group of thrill-seekers to investigate the legends surrounding Grimhurst Manor. Sarah, Alex, Olivia, and Eric, armed with their cameras and a mix of excitement and trepidation, ventured into the heart of the forest, determined to uncover the truth. As they approached the decrepit mansion, the air grew heavy, and an eerie silence settled over the surroundings. The creaking of the rusty gate echoed through the mist, sending a shiver down their spines. They stepped over the threshold, and the door slammed shut behind them, sealing their fate within the haunted confines of Grimhurst Manor. The interior revealed a scene of decay and darkness. Cobwebs adorned the rotting furniture, and the scent of mildew and decay hung in the air. Shadows danced on the walls, whispering secrets that sent chills down their spines. As they explored the labyrinthine corridors, each step seemed to echo through the empty halls, as if the very mansion itself was alive with malevolence. Strange phenomena plagued their journey. Objects moved of their own accord, disembodied whispers filled their ears, and ghostly apparitions flickered in their peripheral vision. They discovered a hidden library, its shelves lined with ancient tomes and forbidden knowledge. Among the books, they found Lady Genevieve's diary, chronicling her descent into darkness and her insatiable thirst for power. The diary warned of the curse that befell anyone who dared to disturb her eternal slumber. Undeterred by the warnings, they pressed on, determined to confront the vengeful spirit. They delved deeper into the manor, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and anticipation. They stumbled upon a secret chamber, adorned with macabre symbols, and a flickering candle that cast dancing shadows on the walls. As they stepped into the chamber, the door slammed shut behind them, trapping them in the clutches of the spirit's domain. The temperature plummeted, and an otherworldly presence filled the room. Lady Genevieve materialized before them, her eyes burning with an unholy fire. She unleashed a torrent of supernatural fury, hurling objects through the air and summoning demonic forces to torment the intruders. Sarah, Alex, Olivia, and Eric fought desperately to survive, their minds and bodies pushed to the brink. But just as all hope seemed lost, they discovered an ancient artifact hidden within the chamber, a relic said to possess the power to banish the vengeful spirit. With trembling hands, they invoked an incantation, their voices mingling with Lady Genevieve's anguished screams. A blinding light consumed the chamber, shattering the darkness and dispersing the malevolent presence. When the light subsided, the room was empty, and the curse that had plagued Grimhurst Manor for centuries was lifted. Sarah, Alex, Olivia, and Eric emerged from the manor, their bodies battered, but their spirits victorious. They vowed never to speak of their harrowing encounter, knowing that the memory of Grimhurst Manor and Lady Genevieve's torments would forever haunt them. The village of Ravenswood rejoiced as the cursed manor crumbled into ruins, its dark legacy finally laid to rest. But deep within the shadows, the whispers of the vengeful spirit remained, a chilling reminder of the horrors that once lurked within Grimhurst Manor. In the small coastal town of Havenbrook, there was a mysterious house that stood atop a cliff overlooking the stormy sea. Locals spoke of strange occurrences and dark secrets that shrouded the house in an air of unease. The house belonged to the Winchester family, who had resided there for generations. Their lineage was steeped in a dark history of occult practices, whispered to have granted them otherworldly powers. The current inhabitants, the young siblings Ethan and Lily Winchester, were the last remaining heirs of this enigmatic bloodline. One fateful night, a powerful storm swept across Havenbrook, its fury lashing against the cliffs. Thunder rattled the windows, and lightning illuminated the night sky in blinding flashes. It was on this stormy night that the siblings unwittingly awakened an ancient evil that had laid dormant within the house. Ethan, driven by a morbid curiosity, stumbled upon a hidden chamber in the basement. Inside, he found a dusty tome bound in human flesh, a grimoire containing forbidden incantations and dark rituals. Ignoring the warnings etched within its pages, Ethan recited an incantation, unknowingly summoning a malevolent entity into their world. As the incantation echoed through the house, a chilling wind swept through the halls, extinguishing all light. Lily, concerned for her brother's safety, rushed to the basement, only to find herself face to face with a creature of pure darkness, an entity known as the Shadowborn. The Shadowborn, a grotesque amalgamation of shadows and nightmares, hungered for the souls of the living. It thirsted for the Winchester bloodline, seeking to consume their potent lineage and unleash chaos upon the world. Trapped within the house, Ethan and Lily fought desperately to survive, their every move stalked by the relentless Shadowborn. The entity's whispers filled their minds, exploiting their deepest fears and insecurities as it toyed with their sanity. They discovered that the only way to banish the Shadowborn and break free from its clutches was to find a relic known as the Amulet of Light, a powerful artifact said to hold the essence of pure goodness. Legend spoke of its hidden location within the treacherous Whispering Woods, a haunted forest that surrounded Havenbrook. With no other choice, Ethan and Lily embarked on a perilous journey into the heart of the Whispering Woods. The forest echoed with eerie whispers, and twisted trees reached out with gnarled branches as if trying to ensnare them. As they ventured deeper into the woods, they encountered malevolent spirits and nightmarish creatures that lurked within the shadows. The siblings fought with all their might, their determination to save themselves and their town fueling their every step. After what felt like an eternity of harrowing trials, they reached a hidden glade at the heart of the forest. Bathed in ethereal moonlight, they beheld the Amulet of Light, pulsating with an otherworldly radiance. But their moment of relief quickly turned to dread as the Shadowborn materialized before them, its monstrous form towering over the glade. Ethan and Lily, their strength and courage pushed to their limits, confronted the Shadowborn head-on. With the power of the amulet, they channeled the forces of light and unleashed a blinding wave of energy, searing through the darkness that consumed the entity. The Shadowborn shrieked in agony, its form dissipating into nothingness. The storm clouds above Havenbrook dispersed, revealing a sky filled with stars as if the world itself rejoiced in their victory. Ethan and Lily emerged from the whispering woods, the amulet of light clasped tightly in their hands. The house atop the cliff stood silent and empty, the dark presence banished forever. Havenbrook, once plagued by fear, found solace in the knowledge that the Winchester siblings had saved them from the clutches of an ancient evil. In the quiet town of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the dense forests of North Carolina, there stood an abandoned psychiatric hospital known as Blackthorn Asylum. Its crumbling facade and broken windows told tales of a dark and troubled past. The hospital was notorious for its experimental treatments and the mistreatment of patients. It was said that the spirits of the tormented souls still lingered within the decaying walls, their anguished cries echoing through the night. One stormy night, a group of paranormal investigators known as the Seekers of the Unknown arrived in Ravenswood, drawn by the legends that surrounded Blackthorn Asylum. Determined to uncover the truth, they ventured into the forsaken building, armed with their equipment and nerves of steel. The team consisted of Emma, a fearless leader with a deep fascination for the supernatural; Mark, a skeptical but open-minded skeptic; Sarah, a gifted medium with a strong connection to the spiritual realm; and Jake, a tech expert who was skilled in capturing evidence of the paranormal. As they stepped into the asylum, the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of unease. The sound of dripping water and distant whispers filled the hallways, and the flickering lights cast eerie shadows on the peeling wallpaper. As they explored the asylum, they encountered remnants of the hospital's haunting past: a padded cell where patients were locked away in darkness, a decaying operating theater where cruel experiments were conducted, and a morgue filled with rusted metal tables and forgotten souls. Sarah, the medium, was particularly sensitive to the spiritual energy within the asylum. She could hear the tormented whispers of the patients and feel the weight of their suffering. It became clear that the spirits were restless, trapped between this world and the next. Deeper into the asylum they ventured, their footsteps echoing through the empty corridors. They discovered a hidden chamber, a secret laboratory where the most heinous experiments took place. The walls were adorned with occult symbols, and jars filled with preserved body parts lined the shelves. Unbeknownst to them, their presence had awakened an ancient evil that had been dormant for decades. As they delved further into the chamber, strange phenomena began to occur. Objects moved on their own. Cold gusts of wind swept through the room, and the temperature dropped to bone-chilling levels. They soon realized that they had unwittingly opened a portal to the spirit realm, allowing malevolent entities to cross over into the mortal world. The spirits of the asylum's victims, fueled by rage and despair, sought revenge on the living. The investigators found themselves in a battle for their lives as the vengeful spirits attacked with relentless fury. They were thrown against walls, scratched and bruised by unseen forces, and taunted by disembodied voices that whispered threats in their ears. Desperate to survive, the Seekers of the Unknown searched for a way to close the portal and banish the spirits back to the realm from which they came. They discovered an ancient book hidden within the laboratory, containing a ritual of exorcism that could seal the gateway. With time running out, the team performed the ritual, their voices trembling as they chanted the incantations. The air crackled with energy, and a blinding light enveloped the chamber. The spirits wailed in anguish as the portal closed, trapping them once again in the spirit realm. Exhausted and battered but triumphant, the Seekers of the Unknown emerged from Blackthorn Asylum, their mission complete. The once haunted hospital stood silent and still, its dark secrets buried within its decaying walls. Word of their harrowing encounter spread, and Ravenswood became a place of cautionary tales and ghostly legends. The Seekers of the Unknown moved on to their next investigation, forever marked by the horrors they faced within Blackthorn Asylum. But deep within the abandoned building, the spirits of the asylum's victims continued to linger, their restless souls forever bound to the dark corridors. And those who dared to enter the asylum's crumbling halls would hear their anguished cries, a chilling reminder of the evil that once dwelled within.